Jonathan Clay, JJ Redick is a former NBA shooting guard who is now a podcaster and sports analyst for ESPN. In this video, we will deep dive into his passions that many have called OCD. You'll probably figure out why JJ was so successful on the court. In the 11th round of the 2006 NBA draft, the Orlando Magic selected JJ Redick to join their team. From 2002 to 2006, Redick was a member of the Duke University men's basketball team. He was a two-time ACC tournament MVP and a shooting guard for the team in 2005 and 2006. Redick had a stellar college career and won multiple accolades, including the National College Player of the Year. Duke University even retired his number 4 jersey as a mark of respect and appreciation for his achievements. With the Magic, Redick reached the NBA Finals in 2009, but was defeated by Kobe Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers. On February 21, 2013, the Milwaukee Bucks acquired Redick from the Orlando Magic. As a result, Redick saw a drop in productivity from the Bucks. A 3-time sign-and-trade deal brought Redick to Los Angeles on July 10, 2013, when the Clippers signed him. On July 8, 2017, Redick agreed to terms on a 1-year, $23 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. On July 6, 2018, Redick agreed to a new contract with the New York Knicks. In the summer of 2019, Redick signed a 2-year contract with the New Orleans Pelicans. On March 26, 2021, Redick was traded to the Dallas Mavericks, and on September 21, 2021, Redick officially declared his retirement from basketball. During the 2019 offseason, Redick signed a 2-year contract with the Pelicans and became part of the New Orleans community. His contract was for $27 million for the next 2 seasons, with $13 million guaranteed for the 2021 season. After the upcoming season, the shooting guard was an unrestricted free agent. Redick's market worth was valued at $7 million. By the end of 2021 season, the shooting guard's total career earnings would be $115 million. According to this estimate, Adidas, Redick's primary sponsor, was expected to pay him $500,000 in 2020. Redick's net worth is around $50 million. Managing a nonprofit organization, he has been part of Redick's life for quite some time. Together with his wife, he leads the JJ Redick Foundation. The charity's goal is to ensure that every child has the same chance at success. Guided by the belief that every child should have the opportunity for hope, my foundation works to help improve the lives of underprivileged youth, their Twitter bio reads. Redick learned in 2009 that one of the things that brought him considerable delight was food. It wasn't until he attended Duke University and discovered avocados that JJ and his then-girlfriend, now wife, embarked on an epic quest to dine at every restaurant on the San Pellegrino Best Of list, despite his mother's background as a dietitian. At the French Laundry of their gourmet trip, he had a come-to-Jesus experience. The meal was so incredible that it shifted his life's path and sparked a newfound interest in cooking. Mr. Thomas Keller and the French Laundry made sense as a gateway for those who want to visit the region. One of the most critical chefs in the field, Mr. Keller's dishes are almost operatic in their precision. Reddick's preparations are like a metal wire to Mr. Tesla. They serve as a conduit for all his energies. New York Times writer David Carr dubbed Reddick perhaps the most meticulous man in the NBA earlier this year. As is his leisure time, consumption and exercise are both part of his regimen. He also likes numbers such as the 342 shots he has to make at every off-season practice. He likes to contemplate statistics. There are very few jobs where you can measure progress, measurement improvement, he says. I think a lot of people measure their paycheck, right? But let's just be honest, that could be a fallacy. I feel like I'm in a really unique position where I can measure that through numbers. But I don't want to turn athletes into robots either, because I feel like I can measure that in feel as well. By how I feel, how I move, by the shots I'm able to make. Like 8 years ago, I wouldn't even take those shots. Off the court too, Reddick studies his moves, watches himself, what he responds well to, and what inspires him. There is a thoughtfulness and intentionality to things that I'm into, he says. It's not about having the money to go buy a watch, but about the process of discovering what you want in a watch. Or why it is what you like certain wines over other wines, and then who the best producers of those wines are. The nuances to it, the information that you process. It's fun. It's exciting. Appreciating and gaining that information, let alone comprehending it, takes time, as Reddick describes it. His obsessions for wine, food, clothing, and timepieces, while now blazing bonfires, began as more subdued pilot lights. There are very few things that I'm into suddenly like that, he says. The watch thing took 5 years between the time when I bought my first watch and really got into watches. The world-class knowledge of watches accompanied a world-class collection or numerous collections over the years, as he bought and sold and bought his favorite pieces one at a time. When Reddick was in his mid-20s, he was possessed by the possessions themselves, not by a god or an animate ghost. Consequently, he expelled them all in order to focus his energy and academic dedication to learning about their subject matter. The style equivalent of Reddick's French Landry moment happened the first time he tried on a suit by Tom Ford. I was just like, this feels different. Looks different, he said. There's something to this. I think that was the summer of 2012 when we rented in Soho, and I remember thinking to myself, why not just have a few things that are just really nice? I don't need 15 polo shirts, why not I just have like 2 or 3 really nice polos? And then in 2015 the bomber jacket thing happened, and that was another slippery slope into obsession. And then you have a kid and they split up on you, they rub their pizza hands on you, and you're just like, alright, I'm not gonna worry about that. Today, with the NBA pregame looking more like a Fashion Week runway and players like Russell Westbrook relapsing capsule fashion collections, Reddick believes and understands what he's doing when it comes to dressing for success in the NBA. It's not that I want a uniform, but I want to be able to mix and match a few really nice pieces, he says. As far as the stunt dressing goes, that isn't me. That's not my thing, but these guys know. When it comes to bomber jackets, I'm going to bring the heat. Lest his Burberry bomber and his Brunello Cucinelli fetish begin to look like a distraction, like superfluous strings on a guitar, Reddick says. The whole basis of my life is basketball. I'd like to say I'm a father and a husband first, but the structure of my life is the NBA season. Before that, it was the college season, and before that, the high school and amateur athletic union season. Everything is structured around that, and with these other things, there is a deep-seated inclination to separate myself from basketball. When I was a sophomore in college, I was frustrated. I wasn't enjoying Duke, so I called my sisters and told them I was going to quit. I said, I just want to be a normal kid. I just want to go to class. I would love to be in a frat. I'd love to write poetry. I want to pursue all these other things. They drove over from Raleigh and they were like, you're crazy, and obviously convinced me not to quit. Thank God they did. Reddick had a breakout sophomore season, winning the National Player of the Year award for the first time. It was then followed by Avocados, Tom Ford, and Rolex, and Reddick's expansion continues. He's still getting better in every aspect of his life, and it's clear to see. It's been in me from the beginning, he says. I'm obsessed with other things in the same way I'm obsessed with basketball. I think that gives me a healthy balance in life. Reddick and Chelsea Kilgore began dating in 2008 after meeting at a party. His life took a great turn after meeting her, according to Reddick, who says she doesn't allow him to be a jerk in interviews. Kilgore was a pilot's instructor and an accomplished professional in her own right when she started dating JJ. In July of that year, they revealed that they were engaged. Friends and relatives attended the wedding, which took place on June 26, 2010. They went on a honeymoon to Italy and Spain after the wedding. 2 children were born to Kilgore and Reddick. First son Knox was born in August 2014, and Kai was born in August 2016, both named after the band Knox Hamilton. Reddick discloses in a short film based on his life that in the public only sees the glitzy side of Chelsea's existence. At least 9 months out of the year, she is essentially a single parent, which makes life difficult because the family's always moving from one location to another while Reddick is playing. Do you think JJ's obsession translated to his success on the court? Let us know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next video.